Hi, I'm Steve Younis. Welcome to the Speeding Bulletin, your Superman news video recapping the events of the week May 20th to May 26, 2016. Our top news stories this week included DC Comics launches a new era with DC Universe Rebirth #1, Grant Gustin talks about a relationship between The Flash and Supergirl, and a couple of unused Batman v Superman posters are released online. Let's check out these stories and more in this week's Speeding Bulletin. In movie news, a couple of poster designs for Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, which were ultimately not used to promote the film, were posted online via reddit.com. The pair of poster images show close-ups of Superman preparing to use his heat vision and Batman in his battle armor helmet. List of nominees for the 2016 Teen Choice Awards have been released, and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice has been nominated in 4 different categories. The movie has been nominated in the Choice Movie Sci-Fi Fantasy category, while Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck are competing against each other for the Choice Movie Actor Sci-Fi Fantasy Award. Amy Adams has also been nominated for the Choice Movie Actress Sci-Fi Fantasy category. The Teen Choice Awards airs live on Sunday, July 31st at 8 p.m. Voting ends at midnight on Thursday, June 2nd. Head to teenchoice.com. In a short video posted online, Ben Affleck holds a copy of DC Universe Rebirth #1 in his hands and exclaims how excited he is to be working with Geoff Johns.
I would read anything by Geoff Johns. Genius. I love him. I love DC. I'm really excited about where it's going, and I couldn't be more honored and thrilled to be on board and part of this DC universe.
The video is obviously designed to promote the Rebirth comic book event, which Geoff Johns is a big part of, but also goes a long way to showing that Affleck is excited to be working with him on the upcoming solo Batman film and Justice League movies, with Johns having recently been appointed co-runner of DC Films for Warner Brothers. Filmmaker Philippe Matos is working on a fan film titled Men in Black: Kryptonian War, which marries the Men in Black concept with the world of Superman. This film is about a new powerful threat on Earth, too powerful for the MIB to handle, that they recruit the help of the most powerful alien on Earth, Superman. If you would like to back the Kickstarter to help fund this fan film, head to kickstarter.com. In TV news, in a new DC All Access video, we hear from the Flash star Grant Gustin, who talks about Supergirl joining the CW and whether we'll see the two come together next season.
And I gotta ask, because everyone loves shipping characters on the show, Barry and Kara, great couple or greatest couple ever?
It would be a good match.
I can see a lot more ice cream in the future.
Yeah, I can too.
Awesome.
With Supergirl moving its production from Los Angeles to Vancouver to facilitate the show's transfer from CBS to the CW, the concern was that some of the cast may not want to make the move themselves, particularly Callista Flockhart, who plays Cat Grant. TVLine.com says that we may lose her for an episode or 2 or 3, since there's no way Callista Flockhart will be moving to Canada full-time, but it's highly doubtful we'll lose her completely, as she definitely wants to continue on with the show. In a recent interview with Today, Brandon Routh spoke about his turn playing Superman in Superman Returns, playing the Atom on CW's The DC Legends of Tomorrow, and his thoughts on Supergirl joining the CW.
It's very exciting, you know, it's an amazing world that's being created. Yeah. It's been in existence in the comic book world for so long, but now we're finally achieving such greatness in television, and I think it's a real treat for fans who've been waiting for something like this for so long. And for me to know that I get to work with all these talented people who are doing awesome, exciting things and all these different types of shows. So it's a new day every day that I go to work.
In comic book news, in a new one-on-one video interview, Geoff Johns discusses Rebirth, what fans can expect from DC Universe Rebirth #1, and what he's excited about most.
For me, it's a beautiful book. I put everything I had into it, into the story. It's an emotional book. It's a fun book.
While in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Geoff Johns explained why he felt the New 52 era of comic books was restrictive for him as a writer, and why there was a definite need for a rebirth. He said the emotional tie was just severed, and it didn't sever in the way that made me angry. It was worse than that. I had apathy for it. I didn't care anymore. Geoff also appeared on Late Night with Seth Meyers on Wednesday night, explaining why Rebirth has none of the baggage of a reboot.
DC Comics, like in the DNA, it's all about hope and inspiration, and we needed to get back to that. And so the comic books, they're not rebooting, which is a dirty word, that's a swear word in the comic book world.
Okay.
because it means that everything you've ever read and bought doesn't exist anymore.
Got it.
But the relaunch is just approaching it with a new light and bringing every character that hasn't been around back.
DC Comics released the splash page, which can be found on the back of DC Universe Rebirth #1, on sale now. The greatest heroes, their greatest threats image, illustrated by artist Ivan Rice, Joe Prado, and Hi-Fi, features Superman front and center amongst dozens of DC Universe characters, including Batman, Wonder Woman, Superwoman, Supergirl, Lex Luthor, and many others. DC Comics released a first look at the variant cover for Action Comics 958 by Ryan Sook. Scheduled for release on June 22nd with a story by Dan Jurgens and interior art by Patrick Zurcher, Action Comics 958 will also ship with a standard cover by Mikel Janin. A restored edition of Superman #1 from 1939 with a value of around $45,000 will be on display at the Beguiling Comic Book Shop in Mirvish Village, Toronto. And it won't be on display for long, as it's expected to sell very fast. Comic books we reviewed this week included Superman Wonder Woman #29, which was reviewed by Adam DeChannel, who said this issue sacrificed story for fight scenes, and he rated it a 3 out of 5. Michael Bailey reviewed Superman American Alien #7, giving it a 3 out of 5, saying, "This issue was the end to an independent-style Superman film, and I just wasn't in the mood for that." Injustice Year 5, Chapter 22 was reviewed by T.A. Hewitt, who asked, "Injustice is a trifle to be enjoyed as such, but aren't even trifles supposed to have some substance?" And he rated this chapter a 2 out of 5. T.A. also reviewed Adventures of Supergirl Chapter 9, giving it a 4 out of 5, saying, "I honestly look forward to each issue of Adventures of Supergirl under Gates, and I hope he's able to continue the run with the same quality." Superman comics available this week from May 25th include Injustice Year 5, Chapter 23 digital comic has been available since May 24th, DC Comics Bombshells #13 print edition, DC Universe Rebirth #1, which is available in a variant cover, and a black and white variant of that cover. Justice League #50, which is available in a variant cover. Justice League 3001 #12. Superman #52 is also available in a variant cover. Superman Lois and Clark #8. Smallville Season 11 Volume 8 Chaos trade paperback. And Superman Adventures Volume 2 trade paperback. Keep your money safe and secure in one of these Superman wallets. Get yourself this Batman v Superman non-woven bifold wallet for just $5.54. Or how about this Superman Vintage Logo Canvas wallet, yours for $18.50. These and other great Superman wallets are available from your one-stop Superman shop, the Superman Homepage online store at supermanhomepage.com/shop. In other news, Water Tower Music and DC Entertainment announced the upcoming release of a second volume of music from your favourite DC Comics properties. The music of DC Comics Volume 2 features 29 songs from beloved movies, television shows, games and radio shows, including Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, Batman the Animated Series, Superman, Injustice Gods Among Us, The Dark Knight Rises, Supergirl, Gotham and The Flash. Also included are 11 songs that have never been released before. The music of DC Comics Volume 2 will be released on CD and as a digital download on July 15th and can now be pre-ordered at iTunes and our Superman Homepage online store. Vinyl lovers can look for a double vinyl version of the album to be made available soon. In an interview with Fortune.com, Diane Nelson thinks that the DC Superhero Girls Initiative could be a billion-dollar brand for the company, with young girls snapping up the new line of merchandise. She said, "We've tested the apparel, Wonder Woman's role-playing shield and bracelets in Target stores since April. It's selling like gangbusters and we can't keep it on the shelves." The official rollout of the DC Superhero Girls merchandise hits shelves in July. Samsung Mobile posted a cryptic video on Twitter this week saying Injustice is about to be served. It's a mystery what this is referring to, as Injustice Gods Among Us has been out on all consoles and mobile devices for quite a while now. But DC Comics also retweeted this teaser, and it could mean that a Rebirth edition of the game with new costumes and characters could be on the way. Whatever it is, we'll let you know, so stay tuned. Episode 137 of Radio KAL, the monthly podcast of the Superman homepage, is now available to listen to. In this month's show, Scotty and I discuss Batman v Superman Blu-ray details, Jeff Johns co-running DC Films, DC Universe The Exhibit, Supergirl Season 2 on the CW, Sci-Fi officially giving the Krypton pilot a green light, Powerless TV trailer, the new DC logo, all the latest Superman comic books, remembering Darwin Cook, 3 Jimmy Olsens appearing at the 2016 Superman celebration, our own meet and greet there, and much, much more. Check it out at supermanhomepage.com/radio. And that's all the news there was for the week May 20th to May 26th. I'm Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com.
Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
Hello everyone, and welcome to another fabulous episode of Great Scott. I'm Scotty V. Thanks for watching. So, we continue our in-depth coverage of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Today, with Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot. What can we say? It seems like even the haters, the detractors, even the people who can't get past the Christopher Reeve films, even the people who won't forgive anything about Superman's alleged darkness, or the fact that he has more depth than the regular, simple Superman that everyone is used to, or they aren't as fun as Marvel movies, seem like they are universally in agreement, finally, that something about the movie, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman specifically, is fantastic. Now, this is a little hypocritical, but it's okay because I like a little bit of positivity, and in my opinion, I think this is the closest we've ever seen Wonder Woman in live action. Obviously, we've only really had Linda Carter, which was the other. Now, Linda Carter was a much more Christopher Reeve version of Wonder Woman. She was, you know, the all-American hero. She wore the stars and stripes, even though she's from Themyscira in another place. I guess they covered that in the pilot of the old Wonder Woman show. I used to watch it off and on. I have never seen the whole series. I know everybody wanted to see Linda Carter as Wonder Woman, the same as they still want to see Christopher Reeve as Superman. Either thing is just as impossible as the other, even though one is dead and one has simply aged gracefully. She's been in some other things. I believe she was in Smallville as something. It was a nice little cameo, and we could see her again in the Wonder Woman universe. Let's hope. But Gal Gadot was cast, and everybody was, she doesn't have big breasts. She doesn't have big arms. She's not massive. She doesn't look like Xena. Linda Carter didn't look like Xena either, but again, just like with Superman, that's okay. The thing is, people have a nostalgic feeling about these characters, and they connect most with either when they first learned about them or when they first really got into them. And for most people in this time period, it seems like, obviously not little kids, but it seems like the people who are looking forward to a Superman movie have been around since the Christopher Reeve films. They believe that the Superman Returns film was crap. They believe that Man of Steel was crap. But to give the same reason, for Man of Steel, it's not enough like the Christopher Reeve movies, and for Superman Returns, it's too much like the Christopher Reeve movies. The good thing here, with Wonder Woman, it is completely different from anything that happened on the Linda Carter series. She's a badass. She's a warrior. She has a battle cry. She leaps through the air. You know, the old Linda Carter series was a goofy, campy, television-style 60s, 70s show where, you know, people spun around to turn into a superhero, and they kind of made little, I don't know, goofy, corny, quippy line, and she fought like a guy, a robber or something. There were no doomsday monsters to fight. There was no massive battle to win. There were no powers, really. She's supposed to have super strength and some measured invulnerability and the lasso of truth that no Linda Carter series Wonder Woman could have held Doomsday with a rope. She could barely catch regular criminals running on foot down the street. Now, part of that is certainly budget. You know, if you look at the Star Trek series from a similar time period, or you look at Next Generation or the movies now, obviously the budget makes a big difference in terms of what they're going to do in scope of story and villainy and characters and what she's going to fight. But she calls herself a thief. She is more than willing to kill. She's talked about it. She uses a sword. These are a lot of things that people are up in arms about on Superman, and he doesn't do any of those things. It just, Zod had to go. There was a situation, whatever. They still won't let it go. Many of us understand at this point that had to happen the way it had to happen. Now, we can blame the writers and say we didn't need to put it there. We didn't need to put Superman in that situation. But neither did they need to do it when he killed the Pocket Universe. Zod and friends, which was even worse because it wasn't in the heat of battle. It wasn't in the heat of protecting the Earth. It was after it was all done and they were powerless to stop him from doing anything that he executed them. So, similar idea, but much, much worse in the comics. But somehow we can't see that. This is a warrior Wonder Woman who is willing to hack off limbs, who will steal back things to get what she wants. Now, she says, is it wrong for one thief to steal from another thief? And then Bruce, of course, later on says, I found what you were looking for, but it doesn't belong to you. Who does it belong to? It's a picture of her from hundreds of years ago, and it's on something that she doesn't want somebody to have, so why isn't it her? Whose is it? Bruce's? Is it Lex's? Does it belong in a museum? I mean, whose is it? She's trying to get it back. She's trying to keep herself hidden. She stepped away from the world of man, and now, because of Superman, because of his inspiration, and because the way he made Batman feel about being a hero, she's going to decide to come back into the fold as well. We've got a Wonder Woman coming up with Gal Gadot. Beautiful, gorgeous, Wonder Woman-y. More built than Linda Carter. And I have nothing against Linda Carter. Just saying, for some reason, it's the same with the Christopher Reeve Superman. He can throw the Kryptonian criminals into the abyss underneath the fortress, and then our excuse is, oh no, but there's a cut where they're alive and they're being taken away. That wasn't in the theater, so all we could see at the time, this is long before there were extras, this is long before there were DVDs, this is long before there was internet where they could put stuff on there. From what we could tell, they were dead. Also, he gives up being Superman to be with Lois. Not a very Superman thing to do. Throws away his powers right in the middle of a horrible nightmare situation. He doesn't know about it. But then because of a caveat that's thrown in, but no one said, oh, that's a plot hole. When did anybody ever say that he could get his powers back if there was some green crystal lying around? No one did. This was a permanent thing, but everyone's okay. And I loved it when it happened. I still watch that sequence at the end, crushing Zod's hand, breaking every bone in a human's body. Also not something that most people would consider Superman. Throwing Rocky down the thing and into a pinball machine, breaking up the whole place. Yes, he pays the guy, but also beating up on a human that can't do anything to him. He's bullying the guy who bullied him. It was wrong when the guy bullied him, but it wasn't wrong when he bullied him back. We loved it. I love it to watch it because it's revenge. It's vengeance. The guy gets what he deserves. He's a scumbag. But Trucker and Man of Steel, oh, he'd never do anything like that. I know this is supposed to be about Wonder Woman, and she's just in it very limited, but I love every scene. She is Diana Prince with regality. She seems like royalty. She walks around. She clearly has an air of confidence. She knows what she's doing. She's got little smirks throughout the film. I love that she comes to the aid of Batman when she says she's leaving, she's getting on the jet. She comes down, she saves him, and then he spends the rest of the fight kind of just diving out of the way while she's fighting Doomsday. Superman even goes off and spends some time with Lois, and Wonder Woman's out there rocking it out with Doomsday and doing pretty well. But I guess Superman can see from a distance that he just keeps growing bigger and he keeps getting stronger. And eventually she'll be overpowered because right now she can handle him at what he is, but it keeps getting bigger and bigger and worse. So I just hope that all of the detractors, all of the people who can't get past an older version, a version that's gone, a version that was a little bit silly like the Superman versions, really like what's going on here, because it doesn't seem like those types of people really like much else of what's going on here. And maybe the Wonder Woman movie will bring them back into the fold. And now we have Jeff Johns that's been announced. I thought this was announced way back in the time of the Green Lantern movie, which was great Johns, by the way, that he was going to be the co-controller of the DC movie universe. A lot of people, of course, saying in response to Batman v Superman's floppage, the $900 million floppage. There could be good things that will help bring in some of these lost fans. Somehow, Henry Cavill's terrible, Superman's terrible, but Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck as Batman, the greatest thing ever, even though he's doing more things out of character. And I understand it because in the course of the story, he's a human being and that's what happened to him. But that's okay because, you know what, all I read about is how Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot steal the show. I don't really hear anything positive about Henry Cavill, which is okay because I thought Ben was great. I knew he was going to be. I said it from the beginning. You can go back and look. Gal Gadot, I was on her train at the beginning. You can go back and look. And I think they both did a great job. I don't know, they stole the show because I think Henry Cavill does a great job too. Maybe because it's his second time out as Superman, people don't mention it or whatever, but I just feel like Superman gets short shift all the time. Whether it's the actor who's playing him or just the character himself. People just really seem to have a hard time and are not very forgiving when it comes to his character. But thankfully we have Gal Gadot and her movie to look forward to, and we have Justice League with all of them in it coming up once again. Thanks everybody for watching, and remember, all the world is waiting for you. Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, Gal Gadot. All the world is waiting for you. She's skinny. She doesn't look like Wonder Woman. Great Scott, I'm Scotty V. So